It is easier to keep your high quality backup players if they are a little bit injury prone. If you look at my graph here on the right, the two red areas with the sad faces are areas where high quality 5-star and 4.5-star players are unhappy with the amount of playing time. Now if you look below, the average playing time throughout the season for starters is 80% of the time, subs are 15% and third string are 5%. Now if your injury prone guys aren't available for all of that 80%, they're going to be a lot happier being a sub. Backing up my claim is Keita, Ox and Matip. So Ox is nearly here 5 seasons now. Not a hope Liverpool would have kept on to him when he's that high quality a player. As for Keita and Matip, they're both 4.5-star to 5-star players. And if you don't agree with me on that, then we'll just quote Van Dijk here to back up my claim. Van Dijk says, unfortunately he's been unlucky with some injuries, but hopefully he can stay fully fit next season. I think he's world class if I'm absolutely honest when speaking about Keita. So there you go, we're holding on to a world class player on the bench just because he's injury prone. One thing that works in the favour of hanging on to an injury prone player is when they get the chance to play, they'll be aware of the system and they won't have to relearn stuff as much. Whereas a new signing, they'll have to come up with the terminology, the different positioning, triggers and all of this kind of stuff. So remember that 15%? If you divide that between 3 subs, that playing time should be pretty easy to cover over the point of a year. Even if you had as much as 3 injury-prone midfielders, they could all cover each other's bases and they're not likely to be injured at the same time. Now, I've not gone totally insane. We're not going to just hand out the crutches and have a bunch of cripples playing for Liverpool, but just entertain the fact that you'll have to pay like 45 million, well as much as that, to replace somebody like Ox, Keita or Matip. And the high quality that they are. If you're replacing all 3 and you replaced a 15 million, a 15 million and a 15 million player, that would add up to 45 million and you're definitely not going to be getting them for 15 million each. So I'm just saying, entertain the fact of being resourceful and just accepting that you'll only be using them for 15% of the season. So is there a cheaper alternative than burning 45 million or more? Well, yes, there is. There's amazing free transfers that are available every season and most teams just don't pick these players up. Klopp showed already he got Matip and he's been linked with Memphis Depay this season. I would definitely dip back into that, as long as the wages don't get too crazy. But if the wages did go over the limit, in the book Soccernomics it discusses how 89% of league position is decided upon how much you spend on wages. That's compared with 60% correlation with transfer fees. So you're better off overspending on wages than overspending on transfer fees. For these players, it'll be vital to put life in slow motion, by which I mean tailor training sessions to be light, and then when it's time for them to play, kick it into higher gear. Their muscles seem to not last the duration of a season, but if you can just make it last that 15% where they're called upon, it will be ideal. In summary, I hope you can see how they can be beautifully broken when applying it to squad depth and playing time happiness. I hope this will help you not to panic as a Liverpool fan when you see players getting injured and thinking you have to cull half the squad. You'll see that it will be very costly to do so and you'll end up hurting your chances. By all means, sell for a good price, but check the market first. Is there a good free transfer available? Is there a player with a nice buyout clause? Usually when you're aiming at a 4.5-star to 5-star, there's not a lot of options out there. Make sure they're better and more cost effective than what you're about to get rid of.